Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of Let's Preview Elite Dangerous Standard Beta 1.0. So the Standard Beta released today as of this recording. This recording is for airing on Friday. And I've just started up the game with a new career. I have done some messing around a little while ago to just sort of learn some of the beginning ins and outs, but here we are in a brand new ship. Every premium beta backer or alpha backer is also reset to the same startup basically today, which is their free Sidewinder and 1,000 credits. One thing to note about the new free Sidewinder is that it actually comes with a pair of Class 2, Loner Class 2 pulse lasers. So it's not completely inept at defending itself. It's just really inept at defending itself. It's still a pretty terrible ship for combat, so I mean that's not its purpose. Okay, so we are sitting outside of Azaban City, the starport for the Aranin system. And the first thing we need to do is sort of figure out which way to approach this thing. You can kind of clearly see that there isn't really any entrance. And one little trick that helps a lot is if you can see flashing red lights on that one face, you can notice it at the corners of each of this face. Those lights indicate that you're at the back side of the station. You want to actually head to the side with the blue flashing lights. So we're going to throttle up here and head to the other side. Okay. So if I look up here, I can see that we're headed ourselves here, sort of maybe a little to the front side. And there are the advertisements out the front. Now, we can't just fly into the station, otherwise we'll end up getting in trouble for trespassing. We have to ask for clearance, and that's done over here on the right-hand menu. By pressing the one key, we get the right-hand menu. We go 2 tabs over and select Azaban City and go down to request docking. Now don't get confused because Azaban City also appears in the navigation menu, but there's no request docking available here. You have to go over to contacts to request docking. So our docking request is granted. We turn towards the entrance and get ourselves lined up with the slot. Alright, as we're approaching the slot here, we want to take an eye, we want to use our scanners and sort of scan any other ships in the vicinity that are ahead of us specifically to see if they're coming out. We don't want to crash into them if we can avoid it. Looks like we got a Lakon in there, flittering around, causing all sorts of problems. This is a crowded place right now. Okay, docking bay 12, which is actually up there. It's Lakon Type 9's in my way. Okay, landing gear down lowers our speed automatically, and can come in carefully to pad 12. I like to aim towards the number until it starts to sort of vanish. You can see it sort of vanishing there, then slow down and go down vertically. Then I know that I'm over my pad, and I can sort of set myself down. Here's the docking alignment display. Just make sure our forward and back is aligned along with our left and right, and then come down for a nice smooth landing.
Engines disengaged.
So, how to make some money? That's probably the first thing you're going to want to figure out how to do. You only start off with 1,000 credits, and that really isn't much to do any trading or anything with, especially with the limited range of your ship. The best way to make money with a Sidewinder is to use its ability as a pretty decent fast courier. So we'll go and check out Starport Services and head to the bulletin board. This is going to be the mission for us. So we'll check it out here. And what they're saying is they want us to haul natural fabrics to Allen Enterprise. Light cargo deliveries must reach Allen. Our depot in Allen has requested a targeted restock. They'll pay us 3,353 credits upon delivering some natural fabrics to Allen Enterprises. They'll give us a cargo quantity of 1 ton. And that's it. So if we accept that mission, we can now go back and see over here in our cargo hold we have 1 ton of natural fabric. So we need to bring that over to Allen Station. Now, Allen Station is not right next door. We actually have to navigate to it, and that's done in the galaxy map. Here we are in the galaxy map. Zoom out a little bit. I have adjusted my options to actually show all of this, all of the system names. So I can see right down here is Allen. Go over the navigation tab. If I set that as my destination, I don't actually have enough fuel to go there directly. You can see by these waypoint sort of lines. That shows how far I can go in any particular single jump with the amount of mass that I have. And this is a really important point as far as why the Sidewinder makes such a terrible trader now. As I increase my mass, the distance I can go decreases. So some of these jumps start falling off the galaxy map because they're too far away for me to even reach. But Allen Station is close enough. All we need to do is get there by way of Ibudis. So we have our course. Aranin to Ibudis, Ibudis to Allen. Let's get out of this galactic map here and go back to navigation, and this shows all the points of interest that we can actually get to within the jump distance that we have based on our current tonnage of cargo and jump capacity or fuel capacity. You know, even if we have a full tank of gas, you can only jump so far in a single jump. But Ibudis is close enough, so we'll go ahead and set that as our destination, and then we can launch.
Target shields offline.
As we launch, we need to head up off our pad,
Engines engaged.
retract the old landing gear, and once again I need to pay attention to ships that are coming in the slot. Oh yeah, I'm going to put full pips and shields in case I get bumped. If you go slow, getting bumped isn't all that painful. People who are going fast that are going to be causing the problems. Okay, we are out of the toaster, as it's called. The little circle above and to the right of the scanner is your navigation compass. It will point to whichever major point of interest you have selected. In this case, I have Ibudis ready to go. So I put the little yellow mark right in the center of the compass and wait for myself to no longer be mass locked. The mass lock indicator is on the lower right hand side of the screen by the fuel meter. As soon as that turns off, I can initiate the jump sequence. There we go.
Drive charging.
Initiating the jump sequence charges up the hyperspace drive. And bam, we have jumped into hyperspace. That was actually quite smooth, considering how many people were there. A nice little short jump to Ibudis, and we are now in Super Cruise, which is to say that we're traveling at either significant fractions of or faster than the speed of light using the frameshift drive. Now, I know that I need to actually just continue right on to Allen, so I will lock and engage hyperdrive from here. Again, watching the compass on the upper right hand side of my scanner to face the right direction and just charge up and go. And back into hyperspace one more time. Basically, once the actual countdown has started, your fuel is committed to the hyperspace and you're gonna jump. So now you have to look at my fuel meter. It looks like I've used maybe a third or 2/5 of my available fuel. I'll go over to navigation and lock Allen Enterprise and head on over for docking. Allen Enterprise is on the other side of the star. I might need to divert. Oh, I'm good. Okay, if we take a look down here, we notice that we are using fuel a little over 10 units per second while in Super Cruise. So yes, we do consume fuel even in this travel state. Okay, the trick to managing Super Cruise is whenever you're less than 100 light seconds, always back your throttle off to basically the middle of the blue zone. Otherwise, you'll end up overshooting your target and have to fly around and come back at it from the other side. So if you want to save yourself some headache, don't do that. Distances in Super Cruise are measured in light seconds. That's what the capital L lowercase s stands for. That's light seconds. Basically, the distance that a particle of light would travel in 1 second. At least until you get down to less than 1/10 of a light second, in which case then you get kilometers. So once we're have all these needles on the left-hand side in the blue zone, basically we're traveling less than 1,000 kilometers per second, and we're closer than 1,000 meters. We tap the hyperspace key to bring us out of Super Cruise. And we have arrived in the vicinity of Allen Enterprise. This is a it's not a Coriolis starport. I can't remember the name of this type of station. An Orbis station, that's right. This is an Orbis style station. That larger ring is a whole bunch of people that live at 1G of artificial gravity due to centrifugal force pulling them around, or apparently pushing them out. The smaller ring is actually 1/2 of a G. Now again, we're approaching here. Well, I want to make sure I'm approaching the front. And I just happen to know on the Orbis stations that the front is always this sort of tall egg-shaped thing. That's the actual docking port. All the other stuff is just storage and fuel and whatnot. Okay, we are within 7 kilometers, so we can ask for docking clearance.
Request granted.
And we're given a pad assignment of pad 4. So let's look up so we get ourselves aligned here. Now I'll use my power assignment keys to get all my power into shields. And just arrange myself to fly in. Take a scan of traffic in the area. Looks like these are all flying out and about, not necessarily inside. Or if they are, they're not going anywhere in particular. Okay. And once inside, our compass points to the landing pad we're assigned to. So it's down this way. And landing pad 4. I'll just fly towards it a little bit before getting my landing gear out. Okay, that should be good. Level off and down thrust. Down, down, down. Backing off my throttle. There we go. Nice. A little bit more forward, a little bit more down, and
Docking successful.
landed. Okay.
Engines disengaged.
So now that we're landed, we'll go back to Starport Services and make our delivery. Bulletin board. And it's underneath here under Deliver Cargo. Light cargo deliveries must reach Allen. Give cargo. Okay, we're only halfway done now. We have successfully delivered the cargo. Now we need to go back to our employer and get payment. So, anyway, I don't see any missions that I want to pick up right now. I might be able to pick up 1 ton of a commodity. This is a high-tech state, and I'm heading back to an agricultural state. So if I pick up 1 ton of something, I can make a little bit of money. Agri-medicines, I don't have enough money for that. Oh, no, I do have enough money for one of them. And it looks like there's a decent profit margin in this. Okay. I'll buy 1 ton of agri-medicines. So when choosing my trade ones, I'm trying to think of the type of things that the destination would want that this place supplies. While I'm here, we'll go to the fuel store and fill up. Okay. That's it. Now, here's your challenge. Do you know the way back? I do.
Ship released.
There's only one station I can
Engines
go to. It's
engaged.
Ibutis. Okay, up, forward thrust, retract the landing gear, and head on out. Once again, using my scanner to cycle through targets to see if anyone's headed in at the same time. I don't want to collide with anyone. With full pips and shields, though, I should be pretty rugged against the incidental bump. And we're to clear the toaster rack, full throttle, full pips to engines, and
Detecting hostile scout.
head on down to my target. I'm being scanned to see if I have anything. Illicit cargo or crimes. I just started. I better not have any of that. Waiting for the mast lock indicator. There it goes. And we're on our way.
Four, three, two, one.
Okay, once again we're in Ibutis, but this isn't where we want to get to. We want to get to Aranin.
Drive charging.
Oh, it's right there. Nice. And here's a whole bunch of other players flying around in Super Cruise.
Four, three, two, one.
Okay, Azaban City. Let's go ahead and head back there to drop off our cargo and collect the money for the delivery that we made a bit ago. If you go over here in the missions tab, you can actually see it gives you a little bit of information. It only gives you the starport that you're supposed to get to, which I think is kind of a pain in the butt. You have to remember where the starport is, and that isn't always easy. Alright, under 100 light seconds. I'm backing off my throttle to the blue zone, and I'm already going too fast. I've overshot. Overshooting. Just kind of spinning myself around until my craft slows down enough. Goodness gracious, we're still overshooting. Surely wildly flying my ship around will help. Alright. So the rule of thumb for navigating in the Super Cruise is actually When your speed gets to about 10% of your distance, back off the throttle to the blue zone, the middle of the blue zone. And then you'll never overshoot your target. And here we are, coming up to Azaban City. Remember the beginning of the video, that trick that I told you? It really only works once you're when you're within about 8 kilometers of the station. You can sort of see by which way it's rotating. It might be kind of hard to figure out, but the front side is actually rotating counterclockwise. So that can be one visual clue. However, the other visual clue that I prefer to use, just lock the destination here so I know what the actual range, is that at about 7.5 kilometers, which is the closest you, or the furthest away you can ask for docking clearance anyway, you should start clearly seeing flashing lights on the corners of the faces of the station. So there's those flashing red lights I talked about. That's the backside. Turn over here. We got the head towards the side with the flashing blue lights. Now that we're within 7.5 kilometers, we can request docking.
Granted.
And looks like that guy's heading in. Yeah. So I'm just going through my targets to see who's heading which direction. Here's a guy heading out. We'll give him the right of way until he's out of the way. The little indicator on the left of the scanner tells you which way they're facing relative to you, so it's pretty easy to determine what's going on. Pad 19, way in the back.
Docking successful. Engines
Okay, let's fill this cargo and see how we do. We'll go to the bulletin board first. There we go. Return to employer. Light cargo deliveries must reach Allen. And they're giving us not quite 3,400 credits for that little job. I like it. And the commodities market. We brought 1 ton of this stuff, agri-medicines, and we can see that they're buying them for, yeah, they want to buy them for 1,086 credits, which is a little higher than the galactic average. And we're making a profit of 433 credits. That's like 80% profit margin, which is pretty awesome. All right, and while we're sitting here safely in the starport, we will take a few moments to go over the HUD as it's laid out in front of you, to give you all the information. Starting from the left, we have information on your current location and which jurisdiction you're in. So Azaban City is in the Aranin jurisdiction. Aranin is an independent state. It's not aligned with the Federation or the Empire or anything. They're a small independent state, and they sort of have their own set of bounties and stuff. Next to that, you have a visual indicator that tells you the orientation with respect to you of whatever you have targeted. When you're using the cargo scoop, that will actually become an aiming box to allow you to align your cargo scoop to any floating cargo out there you want to pick up. In the middle, obviously, we have either the scanner or the menu when we're docked here for starport services and entering the hangar and when we're and launching and stuff like that. Just to the upper right of the scanner is the compass. The spot right in the middle of the crosshairs is directly ahead of you. So if you see a solid square object, that means the object is more or less in front of you. If you see a hollow square object or an outline, that means the object is roughly behind you. So you want to turn around if you have that targeted. Then just to the right of that, we have your hull and shield indicator. It tells you how your ship is holding up if you should get into a scrap. Next to that, we have the power distribution helper. Power distribution allows you to quickly move more priority to systems to engines or to weapons, and by default those are controlled by the cursor keys. Left is system, up is engines, right is weapons, and down is reset. And then to the left of that, or to the right of that, not to the left, to the right of that, we have our signal indicator, which shows you how much of a signal your current ship is putting out, and that determines how detectable you are to other scanners. And your other indicators, such as fuel, mass lock, landing gear, and cargo scoops. So that gives you a basic tour of the heads-up display. This heads-up display is the same for all ships. And that's really it. That gives you a tour of your brand new Sidewinder. And that will conclude episode 1 of Let's Preview Elite Dangerous Beta 1.0. Until next time, keep flying and stay shiny.
I was born on a rock where the stars didn't shine. Now I soar like a leaf on the wind. The clouds were polluted, the sea filled with brine. Now I soar like a leaf on the wind. I swore to myself that above it I'd rise, sail over the mountains and into the skies, to see the stars brighter than man can devise. I'd soar like a leaf on the wind. Put me where I'll see stars so that I can see you, and I'll soar like a leaf on the wind. 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 Soar like a leaf.